So, hopefully nobody is a stranger to negotiating. This is something that we do in our day-to-day lives. Can somebody in here tell me about a successful negotiation experience that they've had? And these are just a few different examples. Anybody? Oh, come on. Yes.
With the company I work for right now, most of the work I do is phone calls and on the computer, and she's having me come to the office in Dallas, and I negotiated that I didn't need to be there.
Okay.
I work at home.
Okay. Did you feel confident negotiating? Okay.
I just brought up the issues and my points, and I think to come up with a solution, also be prepared to negotiate.
Okay. Absolutely. So you're good. You can leave. You already know how to do this. These are negotiating. It's a part of life. It's something that you've got to be very comfortable with doing and very confident, because you will not ever win if you approach a negotiation with no confidence or without thinking that I'm going to win this or I have a good compelling reason to negotiate. So it's really a life skill. And hopefully you all will walk away from here and realize that you already have the skill, just applying it in a different situation, which is probably one of the most important situations you'll ever face. And that is to determine how much you're going to make. If you can't negotiate at that stage of life, then what's the point? Okay? So here's a few other classic situations that you will be using your negotiation skills. Buying a car. Has anyone in here gone through a car buying experience? Okay, how was that for you?
Pretty easy.
Yeah? Why was it easy?
I told him I'm not paying what you pay.
Okay.
Cash only, I don't need finance. Let's do a deal. Let's make a deal. He said, all right.
Okay. Awesome. Cash is king.
Hey, cotton's so cheap. Cash is there.
Good point. That'll be in our second presentation. We'll talk about that. Who else raised their hand? Who else had a car buying experience? Did you negotiate at all?
Yeah, they were, I was able to make their hands a little bit down, talking about and whatnot.
Okay. Why do you all think that negotiating and getting that price lowered is somewhat, it's not, I won't say it's easy, but it's commonplace? And why is that?
People expect me to negotiate.
They do, but there's something else, there's another reason. Market?
Everyone's got a price they want to take. Let's make these prices.
Mhm.
I think the worst they can do is say no, and then you're back to where you were before.
And if they say no, and you're back to where you were before, what do?
Go to someone else.
Exactly. You have options. The same with real estate, buying a house. If you're ever a buyer, you have options, okay? So when you think about negotiating to buy a car or buying a house, the confidence comes because you know that you have these options, and you know that you can walk away from this if the terms don't satisfy you. And that's a very important part of negotiations. Okay. Also, when you go to buy a car, when you're looking at buying a car, they're expecting that you're going to negotiate. Okay. People typically expect that in certain situations you are going to negotiate. That's true for buying a car, definitely for buying real estate. Right? That's why things are priced a little bit higher. Okay? And that's why with regards to job offers, some offers might come in a little bit lower. Okay? So keep that in mind. It's an expectation. In my line of work, working with MBA students, I definitely see a difference in the number of male students and female students that negotiate. A lot of our male MBAs, they really don't have to, decide if they're going to negotiate a salary or a job offer. But the female students question whether they should. So there's definitely a difference between how men and women approach negotiations. There really shouldn't be. We really want to close that gap, because females, you have the same negotiation powers as your male classmates or counterparts. There's definitely a difference. I think men just typically have a little bit more confidence in this area. Okay. Employers perceive negotiators as having stronger and more desirable skills than non-negotiators. So I kind of shared a little bit, we talked a little bit about some negotiation situations, but let's come back to why we're here today. Let's talk about job offers and salaries. So if an employer is already making the assumption that you're going to negotiate, they're also assuming that because you are, that you have you have stronger skill sets than some of your competition that might not. Okay. Knowing that and knowing that that's how employers think should really help you to decide that negotiating is something that you really need to do. Okay, this is going to be your employer. This is going to be your first postgraduate paycheck. You need to make sure that your employer feels very confident about the decision that they're about to make in hiring you. And part of that, helping them to have that confidence about you, is how you conduct yourself once you receive a job offer. Okay, and I will tell you that depending on the type of job and the type of industry and your degree here at TCU, the negotiations will definitely differ, because there's certain majors that it's probably a little bit more realistic to negotiate salaries than others. But you as a TCU graduate, you should feel very confident in this space. Okay. This is what I hear all the time. Students decide not to negotiate because they're afraid that the employer will pull the job offer. They'll rescind the job offer. That is a myth. It is not true. However, it's all about how you approach it. Okay? So if you get a job offer from, company X, and you contact them and you say, "Are you kidding me? $30,000? I'm worth much more than that. So I'd like to talk about how we can negotiate this." Chances are you're probably done. All right? So there's a way to approach this. There's a way to be professional, to be respectful, and also to ensure that you will not be in a situation where they will pull the offer from you. And most employers, especially those that recruit here at TCU, they pretty much expect that you all have been coached by your career services staff and that you know how to conduct yourself in a negotiation situation. And if you haven't had that opportunity, I recommend that you do, because you certainly don't want to damage your chances at an employer. And you also don't want to damage the chances for other students that are coming up behind